The Book of Hosea. Love, betrayal, and God's marriage counseling? The Book of Hosea is basically the Bible's version of a dramatic love story, except the romance is a little one-sided, and it's packed with more betrayal than an episode of reality TV. Hosea is a prophet who gets an unusual assignment from God. Go marry a promiscuous woman. Hosea 1 verse 2. Yep, you read that right. This isn't your typical love story. It's more like, hey Hosea, your marriage is going to be a living, breathing parable for Israel's relationship with me. What follows is one of the most unique books of the Bible, showing us God's relentless love for his people, even when they're as faithful as a cat with a laser pointer. So let's break down the twists and turns of this divine soap opera and see what it teaches us about God's heart for his often unfaithful people. Chapter 1. Hosea marries Gomer. Love in the time of spiritual rebellion. Hosea's love story starts on a real dramatic note. God tells him to marry Gomer, a woman who's got a reputation for unfaithfulness. It's kind of like starting a relationship knowing it's not going to end well, but you're doing it to make a point. Hosea's marriage to Gomer is meant to symbolize God's relationship with Israel, who has been running after other gods the way Gomer runs after other lovers. They have kids together, and God tells Hosea to give them some pretty unusual names. We've got Jezreel Lo-Ruhamah, meaning not loved, and Lo-Ami, meaning not my people. You can almost picture Hosea at the park. Lo-Ami, it's time for lunch. People probably gave him some serious side-eye like, what kind of names are those? But these names are symbolic, showing how God feels about Israel's unfaithfulness. Jezreel represents punishment, Lo-Ruhamah means God's patience is running out, and Lo-Ami is basically God saying, you're acting like you don't belong to me. Chapter 2. God's complaint. It's not me, it's you. In Chapter 2, the analogy gets real personal. God goes into full-on relationship complaint mode. He accuses Israel of being like a cheating spouse, saying, she went after her lovers, but me she forgot. Hosea 2 verse 13. It's like Israel's been ignoring God's texts and ghosting him for idols. God's upset, but here's where it gets interesting. He doesn't just throw up his hands and walk away. Instead, he says he's going to woo Israel back. In Hosea 2:14, he says, I will lead her into the wilderness and speak tenderly to her. It's like God is saying, yeah, you've been unfaithful, but I still love you and I'm not giving up. God's love is relentless. Even when we're running in the opposite direction, he's willing to pursue us, even when we don't deserve it. Hosea's marriage is a picture of God's determination to restore his relationship with us, no matter how far we've strayed. Chapter 3. The ultimate act of love. Buying back the unfaithful. Chapter 3 is where things get really wild. Gomer leaves Hosea, and she's so deep into her unfaithfulness that Hosea has to buy her back. That's right. Hosea goes out, finds his wife who has abandoned him, and purchases her freedom. It's the ultimate act of love in the face of betrayal. In Hosea 3 verse 1, God tells him, go show your love to your wife again, though she is loved by another and is an adulteress. Love her as the Lord loves the Israelites. Hosea obeys, and it's this heart-wrenching yet beautiful moment where we see just how far God is willing to go for us. He's willing to pay the price to bring us back, no matter how unworthy we might feel. This is an early foreshadowing of what God will eventually do for all of humanity through Jesus. Just like Hosea bought back Gomer, Jesus pays the ultimate price to redeem us, even when we've been unfaithful. The bigger picture, God's heart for his people. As we go through the rest of the book, God's message becomes clear. He's not giving up on his people, no matter how much they mess up. Israel keeps running after idols and ignoring God's love, but God keeps calling them back. He's angry, sure. After all, nobody likes being cheated on. But underneath that anger is a deep, unwavering love. God's relationship with Israel is like a divine tug of war. They pull away, and he pulls them back. But here's the twist. God doesn't pull us back by force. He does it with love, patience, and a willingness to forgive. It's like God is saying, I'm going to love you back into my arms, even if it takes a lifetime. So in conclusion, Hosea, a story of relentless love. The book of Hosea is a reminder that God's love isn't dependent on our faithfulness. Even when we mess up, run away, or prioritize other things over him, God remains committed to us. Hosea's marriage to Gomer shows us that love isn't just about feelings. It's about commitment, sacrifice, and grace. We might not be literally chasing after idols like the Israelites, but we all have things that pull our hearts away from God. The beauty of Hosea's story is that no matter how far we wander, God is always ready to welcome us back. His love is relentless, and he's willing to go to great lengths to bring us home.